seeing you again.
You too. Hi.
And Hillary, there you go. Okay, let's grab a seat. Okay, so we'll start with you, Anna.
Oh, sure.
All right. So Anna, you have been with TripActions now, well, 6 months,
Sure,
7
yeah.
months. Prior to that, you were at JetBlue, so you're very familiar with the airlines challenges. JetBlue being a real key retailer. You know, they do a lot with their digital space. Tell us a little bit about TripActions.
Sure. TripActions, for those of you who don't know, is a full-service TMC, travel management company, but we're also, in our foundation, a tech company. We're based in Silicon Valley. We have our own proprietary booking and servicing tools. We were the first TMC to fully implement the next generation storefront earlier this year. We have a real focus on our travelers, and it's a great product, and we've had a really great year working with ATPCO to continue refining our display for flight search.
Thanks, Anna. Okay, Hillary. So Hillary is Director of Supplier Relations at Upside. Previous to being at Upside, Hillary was at Expedia. So tell us a little bit about Upside.
Sure, so Upside is a digital corporate travel agency. We target small to medium-sized businesses. Typically, the companies that we target tend to be unmanaged, so they're used to kind of having little to no support while on the road, so that's why Upside is building for them a one-stop shop solution that provides them with 24/7 customer service. We have insightful reporting, and on top of all of that, our solution is absolutely free.
Good. Okay, so we're just going to kind of through a couple of questions, a little bit pre-scripted, but we want to try and get the message out about your engagement in the NGS community and how we've worked together. It's been a really exciting year. So, online booking, I mentioned before, it's been around, right? And a lot of it fundamentally hasn't changed. I put in a pair of cities, some dates, and I get results with a single price listed down on rows. You know, both of you have come in as new entrants into this market. What have you done differently? Hillary, how do you differentiate your display?
Sure, so I think we all know customer expectations are on the rise because of companies like Amazon and Netflix, and Upside is really trying to build for our customers an end-to-end solution using our enhanced technology. Like I mentioned before, what we're really doing that's different is providing these companies with an absolutely free solution that definitely differentiates us in the marketplace. And we're able to do that because we don't rely on the typical agency model, and that really allows us to provide a lot more value to our customers. And we also provide our customers with an incentive rather than a deterrent to get them to book more volume with us.
Cool. Anna, same to you.
Sure. You know, when thinking about retailing in general and e-commerce, customers are much more used to getting really the most relevant information very early in the shopping process. And that's what TripActions is trying to bring to the flight search tool as well. We've spent a lot of time with NGS and utilizing that as a tool to allow us to get the right information out there, showing customers what's in their travel policy, and allows them to make educated and really thoughtful decisions on their travel.
Yeah. So moving the conversation forward, at the beginning of the NGS work, we went out and surveyed, I think we had over 200, maybe 300 registrants on the survey. And the big surprise that we saw was, consumers were paying unexpected fees. Consumers weren't getting the product they wanted, and there was this general angst about online booking, a little bit of bait and switch, a little bit of uncertainty on product. Anna, how do you at TripActions deal with that? Is that first and foremost in your mind?
Absolutely. The overall goal of what we're trying to do is give the customer as much information about what they're purchasing and what their trip is going to be like at the very front so that they make educated and thoughtful decisions. And we really think of the NGS storefront as a tool to allow us to do that. It's incredibly important to get not just the information about the seat, bringing in as much route-happy content and photos as we can, but also a lot of that fare attributes that differentiate one product from the next. And working with NGS allows us to continuously educate our customers about where to look for that information, and the real estate from NGS allows us to do that.
Excellent. And Hillary, an Upside, same question. How do you guys manage the customer concern?
Sure, so we actually see that there's two problems out there. The first one being the airlines. We think they're frustrated because you guys don't want to be seen as a commodity. We all know a seat just isn't a seat, and you guys are really providing your customers with personalized experiences. So with Next Generation Storefront, we think this is the first step to really allow you guys to differentiate your product and communicate the benefit of your airline to the customer. With customers, on the other hand, like Anna said, they're really confused when shopping. There's a lot of branded fares out there. So Next Generation Storefronts allows them to cut down shopping time and really have more confidence in the product that they're purchasing.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And like, part of what you both do is invest in the user experience, right? And having worked with you both, I've been surprised at how quickly, as we've put new ideas out in the Next Generation Storefront concept in terms of groupings, in terms of how we display the draw data, you've both reacted really agilely. How is it, and I'll start with you, Hillary, what mechanisms do you have to be UX proficient and as fast as you are?
Sure, so when it comes to being a UX expert, we like to understand two things. We like to understand the supplier's strategy along with the customer's expectations. So with suppliers, we love to understand what your strategy is, we love to understand what your initiatives are, and we love to get your feedback on our product, and we're always game to test new things. With customers, in order to really understand their expectations, we love to talk to everybody. So we do a lot of interviews where we talk to promoters of Upside, we talk to detractors, we talk to people who've never even heard of Upside before and get their feedback. And we also really believe that customers are better at showing you how they feel rather than telling you. So we do a lot of live testing where we get customers on our site, get them shopping around and see where there might be some friction. And from that, we'll make improvements to the site and decide what features to push out next.
Okay. And retailing is at the core of consumer experience. Mm-hmm. What tricks and techniques do you guys use?
I mean, similar to Hillary, and I'm sure a lot of us in the room, it's really constant feedback. We're going out to our customers and specifically our suppliers. We don't find that suppliers are hold back too much to tell us how they think about the product, but we get a lot of feedback, and then we're doing kind of constant iterations. By implementing NGS kind of pretty early this year, obviously, before we'd kind of achieved some of the standards that we've reached now, we had to make a lot of initial decisions ourselves, not just mapping products, but in how we were displaying. So we took a lot of time this year to gather feedback and to start integrating kind of smaller changes. And UX is obviously at a core of online retailing.
And I think it goes without saying that the early adopters really took a leap of faith, right? A lot of the data that we were orientating around didn't exist. It wasn't really formatted the way we wanted to, and we've been working hard to get to that. So we thank you both, because without your efforts, we would still be, several iterations behind. But, we just all saw the video, and there's some bold claims on there, right? And people see these claims and scratch their heads and say, this isn't possible. So I'm giving you both the opportunity to defend your claims. So let's start with you, Anna.
Sure.
Double-digit upsell?
We have had a really exciting year at TripActions. We're growing at 5x year over year, so there's a lot of kind of additional noise in this data where we're onboarding a lot of new clients. We have over 2,000 clients right now from a broad mix of industries, size, et cetera. So there is a lot going on in our product development cycle that influences our bookings. But we do know after 1 quarter of implementing NGS, we saw over 33% increase in bookings, similar numbers on the revenue side tied to that, and then most significantly, similar numbers in premium upsell. So essentially getting folks out of the Shelf 2 economy product and booking farther to the right. We think a lot of that has to do with the corporate policies. Our clients also have some great corporate policies that really help encourage booking more premium products.
And so, Hillary, here are your stats, and you have this crazy 62% stat. I don't think I've ever seen 62% on anything, so I'm very impressed. So where does 62% come from? How do you measure that?
Sure, so we launched NGS in April, and pretty straightforward. We measured how many premium bookings we had before and after launch. Premium bookings meaning anything premium, economy, or above. And for us, this was obviously a shocking number and super exciting to see. And really, it was the first indicator that Next Generation Storefront was beneficial to our customers. A little scary for us to know that beforehand it was so hard for them to find the fare that they were looking for.
That's probably a better way of looking at
it.
Right?
But super exciting. Obviously, the airlines, I think, are happy with this as well, so we're excited.
Yeah, I guess we've heard continually that consumers struggle to find the right product, right? And here you both are. Your NPS, that's Net Promoter Scores, It's a reflection on how consumers enjoy and would prefer your product to somebody else, both growing since introducing NGS, and also the upsell in that consumers are finding the products that they're looking for. Right? They're not hidden and they're having to dig and hunt around for them. So that's really encouraging. That's what we hope to do. These were the data points we're hoping to bring to market for NGS. So let's talk about mobile. Those familiar with NGS know it's a multi-column display. The channels have a lot of leverage in how they're going to innovate taking that data and move it forward. But how does mobile play in your world? Anna, what's TripActions' plans for mobile? How are you going to surface NGS to a consumer on a mobile device?
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, TripActions is really a tech company first and foremost, and so we are seeing a lot of our bookings coming through our mobile channel. So since the very beginning of NGS, we've had to implement, or we've had the opportunity to implement on a mobile, on our apps. What we've done there is really understand, while it is somewhat challenging to bring a shelf concept onto a smaller screen, we've been able to find ways to integrate it in a seamless way. I understand that NGS at its core is about comparing like products and increasing differentiation so that customers know what they're booking. And I think that our tool and our implementation on mobile has done just that.
Hillary, where are you guys on mobile?
Sure. So right now, our mobile app is used as more of an on-trip benefit for our customers. So we'll send out travel alerts. That's where they can reach out to our customer service. We'll send recommendations based on where they're traveling to. We haven't been able to implement NGS onto mobile yet. As everyone knows, it's a lot of content to fit onto a tiny screen. So this is where we're really looking to the working group with ATPCO to find the best solution as an industry.
Yeah, and I think that's probably something, the working group you saw earlier, it's a fairly vibrant community, a good number of companies involved. And I would say from a working group, having done a number of working groups in the past, our community is rich. You know, we have very active discussions. And I think a lot of that comes down to the passion involved in NGS. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to call out Lisa from Southwest. She's out there somewhere. Lisa, do you want to raise your hand a little? There she is. If it wasn't for Lisa, NGS would not be a success. And I'm saying that right now. We had our first working group meeting, and Lisa just was a shining light. She sat, she represented her brand, she made sure Southwest was going to be properly represented at NGS, and she made everybody listen. She drove engagement. And the working groups since then, we've had 3, one in Europe, another one back in DC. Excellent engagement, right? And I really think that Lisa was a cause of that, of her passion for her brand. So thank you, Lisa. Hey. You can come kick me later. Okay, moving on. So what's next? What's going on?
Sure, it's been a very exciting year, as I said, since we launched NGS. One of the things that we've done, as I talked about, is going out and gathering feedback and understanding both from suppliers and customers how they're interacting with the product and what's coming across as vital information. One of those things was that we gathered feedback that stars, as you mentioned, are maybe not the most successful way to communicate what the shelf structure means. For us, our core findings were really that it didn't necessarily tie to value in the same way that we had thought, or that customers thought that it did tie to value, as well as there are certain aspects like fare attributes and seat pitch that are kind of tough to tie to stars. So what we're doing, we're excited right now, is that we're going to be moving towards a simple iconography and very straightforward word describing what we believe the columns represent. This is something we're hoping to launch really soon, and we're going to continue to gather feedback, and we'll be working with ATPCO and other folks in the industry to make sure that that those things are working and communicating correctly.
Sure. And we want to keep giving you the data to continue experimenting, right? And over to you, Hillary. I know Upside looking at the same kind of challenges, right?
Absolutely. So we also got the same feedback about the stars. So when the standard was lifted, we were very excited to kind of start talking to customers and gathering feedback to find the best solution. We also found, based on customer feedback, that they preferred both a combination of words and icons. So that's what you'll see up here. This is a mock-up. And we really wanted to, not commoditize it and make it about the seat. So we really tried to choose words that were more about the experience. So that's why you don't see the words like recliner or lie flat. It's really trying to explain what the customer can experience in each of those columns. And we're also still kind of testing this and getting some feedback, but hoping to push something out to production soon.
Excellent. And again, I think we really had that eye-opening moment in London when we were talking about the stars, and all of the channels came together, and we're like, look, we are retailing experts here. Can you just step slightly to the side and let us do our thing? And that was a great learning for us, and we're looking forward to see where this comes. Will we end up standardizing on a set of iconology and words? We're not sure. Maybe it'll be regional, maybe it'll be channel specific, but whatever comes of this, we'll have learned something. So I'm looking forward to see how this continues to develop. So we're coming up to the end of this little chit-chat. I really thank you for your time and your participation and engagement in the Next Generation Storefront. We've had the pleasure of being on stage before. You've been very active in the working groups. But now here you are, our Elevate conference, and you have a sea of expertise out here. And these guys are experts from the airlines, experts in channels. What questions would you have for them? What questions would you have for ATPCO? What do you want to see moving forward? I'll start with Hillary.
Sure. I think keep providing us with rich content. I think that's how we're really going to be able to communicate the benefits of your airlines to the customers. And I think we're all trying to solve the same problem of meeting our customers' expectations. So let's all work on this together, and we'll be able to elevate the bar for the travel industry faster.
Excellent. Anna, what would you ask?
Yeah, from the TripActions point of view, we've had, like I said, an exciting year of implementing NGS and needing to do kind of a lot of that work before. What we really want to communicate is that we don't want to own the standard. We want that feedback from ATPCO and the airlines to work together to help us understand where everything needs to go, and then that will allow us to be much more creative about our display and the way that we're communicating that data. But we're excited for you guys to continue collaborating. It was great to hear that US domestic has been agreed upon. So.
Hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses.
Yes. So look, thank you both. Again, thank you for your time. I will walk you off the stage if I can climb out this chair. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary.
Thank you so
Thank you very much.